So, hello everybody. Bitwig 6 in beta version 13 is out and it brings lots of refinements for automation. And these new features or changes might not be that easy to grasp from reading the change list. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a demo what these functions actually do. So I created a very simple little clip here. It sounds like that, 2 tracks, a very basic polysynth and a little drum groove. No automation at all, but let's add maybe some filter modulation here on the polysynth. It already shows me these 2 parameters, so let's go with the filter frequency, make this a little bit larger, and let's draw here some filter modulation, whatever that should be, something like this. So let's hear it. There you go. Maybe a bit steep. And now we have here this new button up there, which says toggle global automation behavior, and it's now set to follow, and you can toggle it to lock. So what's the difference? Maybe let's close here the clip section, make it a bit smaller. If I drag now here the clip to a different position, it does what you basically expect. It also moves here your modulation. We still have our modulation going, and if we toggle this option, it will do the opposite. So this modulation will stay in that position. So it does not move it. Same works if you transform that into a clip. So we can say wrap as automation clip, and then you have the same behavior. So if I drag now here the clip up here, it will not move the automation, and we can keep that with that. I also noticed you can bring it back. So if we do something like this, we do not move it. They are now independent. Even if that's active again, they're independent, but you can bring it back here to that position and then it overrides it. So you need to be a bit careful with that. But if you have that option enabled, and then you can bring it back without overriding it because it does not move the automation in that case, and then you can switch it off again, and now they're moving together again. So that's also a possibility. So this is something you find in nearly each and every DAW, that it works in that way. But here in Bitwig, there's more options what you could do. So maybe let's add a second modulation. Let's say we also want to modulate the resonance. And let's also do some resonance change here to the filter, something like this. And now you can select this lane, this modulation lane. And here are now more options. So when parent is edited, use editor settings. So it uses this settings up here, or you can say always follow or never follow. So what does it mean? Always follow means this lane will now always follow the clip. So currently I have this option enabled to follow, so everything follows anyway. But if I now change it to not follow, this one will still follow because I activated that option for that lane. So this option holds true for the full lane. So if you go like this, it will always include this automation lane. And the other option is to do the opposite, never follow. So also now independent of which setting I have, it will never follow, it will never follow our main clip. So even if I have it off, it will not follow the main clip. And especially that always follow section makes sense if you have MIDI data, which you normally always want to treat as a package. For example, if I add here a modulation, let's say pitch bend modulation, or you could say you have a modulation wheel, and normally you always want to have that together because you normally use pitch bend on the note and you do not want to have to move that pitch bend without the note because it does not make that much sense, something like this. And here you have now the option, which is the default, which says always following. So this is the default if you create MIDI lanes. So it will always, it's a bit difficult to move. It will always stay with your notes. But for any case, if you want to change that, you can also turn that off and say also use editor settings. Then this one up here will be true. And you can also move it without the MIDI automation. And there's now also a nice little icon here which shows you how many modulations this clip is carrying around. And you see here it's 3, so it's our, close here, that one. It's our pitch bend, our filter frequency and filter resonance. They are all modulated, so it shows a 3. It's interesting to note that if you switch it off, it says 0 because it's now independent from that modulation. So it always shows you the info, how much are going with it and not how many there are on the tracks. And this is only shown for the active clip. So if I switch down here, the info is gone and this one has no modulation info, so it doesn't show anything. And last but not least, there's another option which is called free time on clip automation. And this is also related to that behavior because I could also drag over that clip here into the clip area in a session. And here we also have this option which is important for this exchange between the two areas as well. So if I say I don't want to have that as a package with the other modulations, so I have this option enabled, it's red, and now I drag that clip, it will not move the automation with it. So if you want to copy the full clip with the automation, you need to be sure it's set to follow. So, but what is this free time? This is interesting. If you want to have run the automation independently from the main clip, which means currently if I play back here this scene, it will wrap around and play exactly as the main clip. But for example, you would maybe like to have this played only once and then do something like this. So totally close the filter. And this could be done if you click on the clip and enable this free time icon. You have this little running person here, and it's also shown here as a little icon on top of the clip. And now you could change the loop, for example, or even switch off the loop. You could also switch it off like this, and then it plays only once. But the clip keeps on playing, which you cannot hear anymore because the filter is closed, but you could do that on more meaningful parameters. Yeah, something like this. So many little additions in this new Bitwig 13, not so easy to understand at once, but quite intuitive if you think a little bit about it. And I think they tried their best to make this understandable with the icons and the explanations you have now here in the text. And yeah, I hope this video was helpful to you. And until next time, make some funky music.